Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2. Today we're playing as Horatio. This is going to be a kind of an unusual game. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at manipulating populations and using the ability to manipulate populations to also manipulate our government. But that, we're going to be doing some of that here, but it's going to be twisted toward an unusual end. So the deal with Horatio. First of all, in case you don't know, this is Horatio, as are all of the citizens of our empire, because Horatio is an incredibly wealthy, crazy person who is convinced that he's the most beautiful thing in the galaxy, and he discovered some endless cloning technology and made 1 billion clones of himself, and so the entire Horatio empire is just clones of this extremely beautiful man. So we can basically consume minor civilizations, integrate the stuff we like from their genome into our own, and make our base Horatio population unit better. Each time we do that, it increases the amount of food that we need to consume. But you can see the Horatio population unit really is not very good by itself. It's just a base. We will create a masterpiece with this as our canvas. So we're going to be growing minor faction population to use with Gene Hunter. And the deal is, the first population you splice in, you have to consume 2 individuals, or two units of that population. For the next one, it's 4. For the one after that, it's 6. Then 8. So we have to. We're gonna have to grow our minor faction populations so that we can get enough of them to get useful genetic material out of them. It's gonna be a weird game. We start with some Zvali. And honestly, these guys are pretty good. Obviously, we'll be taking the good things about them and making them good things about us. But in much less of a metaphorical way than that is usually meant. We have an extra population slot on each planet. We suffer less overpopulation disapproval. And this one's about here. Yeah. Double hero recovery rate. So if your heroes actually get injured, like if you lose a battle with an admiral or something, they will heal back to being useful again twice as fast. Not actually a very good trait. This is basically 0 value. We start on Horatio Prime, which is the planet that it is, plus 3 science and 2 dust per citizen. We start as a dictatorship, which, this tooltip is not as thorough as it could be. So rebellions will start developing when systems are unhappy. We only have 1 political party representation. Any hero skill that says if you're a senator, get this bonus is 50% more effective. And unless they change something, the other thing about dictatorship that I think is pretty relevant that for some reason is not in this tooltip is that elections don't happen. When it's election time, I will pick a party, and that party will be in charge of the government for the next 20 turns. I believe that the people's preferences still matter because they get unhappy if they all want the government to be one thing, but you made it something else, so there's an approval issue to deal with. But we get to determine what party is running our government at all times. We may stick with this for the whole game, I don't know. And we start as an ecologist government. I was talking a little bit of trash about the ecologist forced law last game, because I don't think it's very good at the point that we picked it up, but I do think it's actually very powerful in the early game. So yeah. Basically the same stuff here. We're on random galaxy shape. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's make the galaxy as beautiful as we are. On the outside, not the inside. Nobody wants to look the way we do on the inside. So, one of the things I'm kind of curious about this game is whether it would be worth it to maintain some minor faction population. Like, we'll look at the collection bonuses and stuff. We might not want to consume all of the units of every population.
They only ever saw what was in the mirror. I always saw what was beyond. They saw deformity. I found beauty. They saw madness. I found genius. For the longest time, I have been the only one who sees what lies beyond the mirror. But soon, very soon, they will see it as well.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that we do. Today we do a far weirder thing than we have ever done before. So we are on the extreme end of one of the arms of a spiral galaxy. That's probably a good thing in the sense that we don't have to worry about threats from behind, essentially. But it does mean that we probably need to get out here into the galaxy quickly so as not to get hedged in. Hemmed in? Probably hemmed in is what I meant. If it happens and we have to consume another civilization, so be it. So here's our first hero, Farella EM8 Mario 22, also known as Horatio. I assume that these are identifiers that, like, this is the 22nd unit from this batch, or I don't know how it works. But our starting hero here, our starting Horatio, has +1 movement on any fleet that it's assigned to, and +1 food for each Horatio in its system if governing. The Horatio tree has approval and food, extra movement, extra influence rather, lots and lots more food. So it's not going to be that hard to grow our population. Interesting. Restricted supplier actually seems very powerful. Also, the text is not aligned super well. It's a shame. But yeah, this is a pretty good governing hero. Of course, we're gonna do that thing we always do, where we stick our hero initially on our scout fleet, just grab some early experience. Although we don't actually have any curiosities to explore. We need a little bit more curiosity expedition power to actually hit these. So I guess there's probably not any sense in sending a probe out this way. Yeah, this is a weird situation. Let's fire probes down here. You know, sometimes the probe will reveal something close enough like that to give you some idea of where you should move. So yeah, we definitely want to move our colony ship over here. And we want to move the scout ship here too. There's a lot of ooh, that's actually a very short move. Hold on. Let's have a look at this ship. We wanna fiddle with these modules a little bit anyway. So we swapped the position of those modules, and it used to be the case that you could swap. I'm pretty sure it used to be the case that you could swap the modules that were identical. Like we could have swapped those two probes and still been able to retrofit. It seems like they changed that. But you can still swap two modules that are not the same. I think I'm okay with letting this trip be this long, because we definitely want to bring 4 probes over here. There's at least 4 curiosities to explore. So let's hit this. Retrofitting refreshes our probe stock. And we're going to be generating roughly 1 probe per turn. So there's no reason not to fire another probe out here just in case. Actually, we could fire 2 off. And we'll still be at full when we actually reach here. Let's fire probes out here just in case there is one system hiding at the very, very end. Alright, so let's talk about this government. +15 approval on systems, and enables colonization of non-gas planets. So we can colonize all planet types except gas right now. That's why this is showing up as 5 colonizable planets. It's an Arctic, and an Arctic, and an ice, and an ice, and a barren. I think probably none of which we have the correct technology for, but hardship ready makes it possible. We will suffer a penalty to all of our resource output until we research the correct colonization stuff, and at some point we're probably going to want to swap off of ecologist, because the later ecologist laws are actually not very good for Horatio, on account of them often wanting you to diversify your population types. And we're going to be very heavily the one population type. And then for now, do we have any anomalies? Here on our home system, we do not. We might end up with some over here, But, so, green fertility bill is actually useless. Toys for Boys is a no-go. Obviously, we can't afford to be sacrificing industry this early in the game. But I think we can probably run the Cram Exam Act without any negative effects. Yeah, we're at 68 approval, so losing 6 is not going to have any effect at all. But gaining 9 science is actually pretty significant given our current science output. Alright, are we on the planet that has the strategics? We are not. So we need to pick this up relatively quickly. We also need to start generating food and industry, obviously. So this stuff's important, and this is a temperate and fertile planet. Okay, so basically what I was doing there was trying to figure out if we do want xenolinguistics right away this game, and I think we do. It's going to be pretty good. So honestly, I think we should pick this up, like, early. And then once we have picked this up, xeno-industrial infrastructure is going to be very powerful. It's going to be another 40 industry here. So is there anything else we need to do this turn? We should look at our population thing here. So the Zvali, if we splice them into our genome, our Horatio populations will gain 1 science and 2 approval. We already have plus approval on hot. What are our collection bonuses? Obviously plus ecologist, 15% extra food, and eventually 5% of your food becomes influence, and also you get an influence for every 10 food, effectively. So that's a lot of influence, eventually. Plus 20% science output, huh? And even after we splice the population into our own, these guys actually provide way more science than ours do. So I kind of think that we want some Zvali around. We probably do want to still splice them because these bonuses are useful, but you can see it takes 2 population to do the splice. I think we should wait until we have 3 to do it, so that we still have Zvali around, and we should try to push our Zvali population up to 20, because that's a very powerful bonus. And we're not really that good at science by ourselves. Alright, so where do we want to put down here? We want to probably put down in the place that is going to provide us with the best chance of getting some industry going. So we have ruins here, signal, ruins, and an atmospheric curiosity. Okay, so there's probably some anomalies that we can't see yet. These are the 2 planets that have the most food. 1068 and 3068. But this is a tiny planet. So we probably want to start on a larger world. We're not going to be super happy here, but I think this is the right one. Yeah. Hey, doesn't that look lovely? You know, I honestly think it does. Okay, we cannot boost our colony production at all here. We will be able to soon. So we can pay 75 influence to increase the amount of food that is shipped over from the home world, or from the home system, or 150 to just double the food output of this system. This is probably not worth doing, is my read. We're going to be very strongly bound by the arrival of food ships. So this might be worth hitting if we get lucky and we find some anomalies or some curiosities that have influence in them and stuff. So is there anything else we need to do this turn? We figured out our government. We know we're researching. No, I think we're good. I think let us move forward. It's going to be kind of a strange game, and I do not have a victory condition in mind. I think we're just going to kind of see what the galaxy provides. Hopefully we'll encounter some more miners soon. Oh, I didn't look at our starting techs. So just to make that clear, we started with rare earth foams, which gives us the debris analyzer, which is a fine early game module. And also off-world agribusiness. It says that this is modified by our Horatio affinity, but is that true? This looks like the normal version of that thing. Well, something about it is different. Alright, let's do a little bit of exploration here. So obviously we'll start with the world that we're colonizing. Oh, Kessler Syndrome, lovely. Well, we did find some influence. Also metallic waters. This is a crappy planet. Signal curiosity, ruins, and atmospheric. I mean, we'll hit these two, we'll hang out here for a turn and grab that one next. And we're definitely going for governor skills rather than admiral skills on you. So, 5 approval and 5 extra food is probably a good way to start. 5% extra food, which is actually generally going to be worse than 5 extra food. Okay, we found a titanium cache and... okay, some mapping information. Not super great. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed there. Oh, you know what we should do? Okay, so this volley can be boosted with blue cap. We'll just have to hope that we find some. This is a gas planet then? Gas planets have very, very good outputs. Unfortunately, not a lot of population slots, but we do have that extra population slot bonus from our racial, what do you call it? Our racial bonuses. Faction bonuses, I guess? And also we've discovered more metallic water. This is a crummy system. I got all excited because it's a lot of planets, but they're not very good planets, are they? We've discovered the existence of space potatoes. And xenolinguistics is showing as 0 turns left because we got enough science from that anomaly to complete it. So we should probably just go ahead and queue up the next thing. We're going to have access to plasma metallurgy, or we're going to have access to Hyperium quite soon. And the interplanetary transport network is going to be good for us because we're going to have population on that planet. So let's go ahead and pick this up as well. It is so far looking a little bit lonely out here. Okay, well that's interesting. There's a lot of curiosities to explore. So we're doing our research, we're getting a hold of this planet, we're queuing up Xeno-industrial infrastructure for immediately afterward, and here comes our quest. The 3 of us stood around that table, a spectacle for all Horatio to consume. Gorgeous, brilliant, and indistinguishable. The guards and attendants had one question only. Who was the original? I claimed to be, of course, every bit as beautiful and smart as either of the other two. That had to be the case, for we were the most perfect copies, biological, psychological, developmental, that the most advanced cloning science of the galaxy could make. No scientific test existed that could tell us apart. Each one of the 3 of us a microcosm of Horatio perfection. Yet only one was the real Horatio, Horatio Prime. I wondered what parents had brought that Horatio up, had developed that magnificent brain into what it was. And I wondered how Horatio managed to imprint that upbringing as if it was a technical issue, like replicating DNA. Can a thing from a test tube have daddy issues? We aligned ourselves with each other, 5 and I, determined to avoid the fate of 1, 2, and 3. They had died in the lab once Horatio Prime realized what we were thinking. Subtly, we knew who was who, and he gave me his support when I claimed to be Horatio, the original, Horatio Prime, the Light. And so I was crowned Emperor, the gorgeous leader of a gorgeous empire, and Prime was put in chains. But I know 5 as well as he knows me, or Horatio himself. The minute he is out of my sight, he will scheme against me. As I, of course, will scheme against him, and as Horatio will scheme against both of us. Clones. They're so predictable. Treachery. Right away with the treachery. Okay, so we gotta choose an objective here. We could increase the Horatio population to 12, which is a thing that will happen whether we want it to or not, basically. And for just sitting here and letting that be accomplished, we'll get this. Now, it's important to note This is not an improvement to our population. It's a system improvement that we have to build. And once we've built it, we will get this 4 food on our Horatio population. But because it's a system improvement, it only applies to the system it's built in, I'm pretty sure. It's plus 4 food in this system for each original Empire population in this system. We could reach at least 50 total luxury stock. We don't have luxury resources on our home system. But, you know, we'll inhabit systems that do have luxuries. And for that, we would get a building that gives us extra influence per Horatio in that system. Or we could build a bunch of ships and get 4 extra industry. Well, I mean, you know I want to go for this one. Yeah, I think we're doing this. Industry is just it's so much better than all the other resources. Prime must be desperate. I have heard that he's resorting to piracy. Whatever fleet he builds, I must be ready for it. For even if he is not subtle, he is as brilliant as I am. So, build at least 5 ships of 100 defensive power. Yeah, we can do that. I'm sure we can do that. It's not something I'm in a big hurry to do, but we will get it done. So unfortunately, we don't see any sources of blue cap. There might be some here on Mayal. Oh wow, this is a lot of curiosities. Okay, we have a nice looking planet here. Let's finish checking this out. What else is going on over here? Okay, also super spuds. That's cool. I'm going to intentionally not search the atmospheric curiosity because the quest to discover the academy might pop at any moment, and when it does, we'll get rewards for searching atmospheric curiosities before other people do. So let's leave those in place and instead search... let's search this. A large forest world is pretty attractive. A huge ash world is also pretty attractive. These are both places that we theoretically might like to settle. We should probably make another settler ship relatively soon. You just chill out. Alright, there's those food ships. So next turn we can press this button, and we absolutely will. I'm not going to waste our dust on this. Adding 5 extra food to this system is a terrible, terrible way to go. Not a good expenditure of our resources. Alright, I kind of figured that was the case. I was hoping for blue cap, but it's not usually the case that systems have a ton of different low-level luxuries. You usually don't see more than 2. Okay, what's the reassignment cooldown? 2 turns? We might leave the hero out here until we finish checking out all the curiosities in this system. It's just a lot of XP. Alright, so we're mining both of the strategics very early. A lot earlier than that is usually the case. So you can see that that food ship arrived and took an extra 5 turns off of this. Make it so each food ship that arrived takes 10 turns off instead, and that should get that settled pretty quickly. 66538544. Okay, so I probably want to keep as much population as possible on this planet for now. But I want to own this one because the Xeno-Industrial Infrastructure bonus from having this planet in our control is significant. Okay, what do we want to do next? We're actually in a pretty good position for public-private partnerships as well. So why don't we grab that? That'll reduce our settling penalties on tundra planets. There's no tundra here though, right? It's, yeah, ice Arctic barren. Alright, we'll have to think about picking up those colonization techs, but it's not totally vital. Let's continue slowly exploring this place. Alright, more deciduous trees. So when used in a system development upgrade... see, okay, this tooltip's a little goofy. The deposit is providing 2 dust and 1 approval per citizen on this planet. When used in a system upgrade, deciduous trees, I believe, give you a flat dust boost. 60 dust, yeah. Which is actually pretty good. Like, if you get this going on a couple of systems early, it really does add up. Because your expenditures in the early game are so small. You need to keep almost all of it. It's a little bit of a slow start. Alright, the food ships are incoming. Just trying to make sure that we're not pushing ourselves below a threshold with our plus science law. Because if we were at like 69% approval here, it would probably be right to to cancel the law, and moving up a tier of approval would generate more science than the science we're getting from our citizens. But as it is, I think we're doing just fine here. We'd be at 76 without it. So, are we going to be shipping food for 5 more turns? The next ship departures in 2 turns. We're going to have 1 reach here. Yeah, I think we might actually have a unit of Horatio population here starve because of the amount of food we're sending out, which is not ideal, but it's not the end of the system, I suppose. Oh, we're starting to run out of other stuff to search. That, oh, hey, Transvine. That's pretty handy. I do wish that that Finding the Academy quest would pop. I don't know what turn it usually happens on, unfortunately. I used to. Back when I was playing, like, a lot of this game. But I don't think it's worth delaying any longer. Like, I don't think it's worth sitting here. I suppose we can sit for 1 turn. And then we'll just search these both at the same time next turn, and then bounce our hero out to governing. Yeah, alright, we'll wait 1 more turn. Once we have this finished, we need to probably build a colony ship so that we can take over Mayal. Alright. What are the legendary deeds that are currently available? Have 8 planets colonized within your empire. Because we have 2 planets colonized, we're in 2nd place on this, and 500 science is actually a big deal. So this is something worth keeping an eye on. Spreading out over our high value systems, probably a good idea. Of course, the first deed in that quadrant is the Wonder, and it is a good wonder. We'll see. Maybe we can get it. And over here, be the first to possess 20 star system improvements. This isn't going to happen. The AI have production bonuses such that there's no way we could beat them to finishing 20 buildings. Also, I don't really want to. We have other things to focus on. Yeah, alright, let's just get this XP and get out of here. So what we have discovered is a strong magnetic field, but also the Team Spirit battle tactic. Increases damage when the enemy has fewer active flotillas. Potentially very useful, actually. And... oh, the Garden of Eden. Lush and pleasant with a single year-round season of moderate temperature. Life is good on this planet. Well, I have to say, this Mayal 4 has turned out to be just lovely. It's tiny, which is a real shame, but at least the Garden of Eden gives it 1 extra slot. Yeah, this system is real good. Alright, let's pull our hero over to here. So now our law is preventing us from being ecstatic. Let's see, so we're generating 44 science per turn. If we cut the law, we would lose 9 science per turn, but we would gain 15%, which is actually less than 9 right now because our empire is so small. I guess I just keep it rolling. We would also be generating more dust, well, and food though, right? Because this planet only being happy is preventing it from producing 20% extra food. Yeah, if we could avoid the starvation of this Horatio, that would probably be pretty good. What would we replace it with? Nothing? I would just leave the slot empty, I guess? That feels pretty bad. Let's see. This ship's gonna arrive probably next turn. The next ship launches in 2 turns, so arrives in 4, because this is 1 turn of movement. So, as it is, we will starve. Well, we could move people over to here and produce more food. Let me see. Does doing that get us 1 extra turn of survival? It does not. Yeah, alright. I'm going to cancel this law so that we don't lose a point of population. Right, because now the fact that we're... Really, that wasn't enough either. Oh, you know what? I don't know if this is updating in real time. It was minus 13 before, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so. Well, we can't reinstitute the law this turn. No, never mind. We totally can. Yeah, if it's not... If the approval bonus isn't actually going to push us over... Okay, no, it was mine. We gained 1 food from the extra approval. Yeah, alright. The science is worth having the law around, and it's just a shame that we're not going to be able to prevent that population loss, but getting the colony going on Polaris is very important. Alright, let's keep looking around. It is probably the case that there is 1 other player in this arm of the spiral with us. There are 9 players in total, so it's going to be 2-2-2-3. Maybe we are the unlucky ones, and we're going to have to compete with space for 2 other players, but on balance of probability is probably not, right? So we should probably pick up a food tech, huh? Ooh, look at that. The organic purity system improvement increases defense as well as giving food. But actually, we should probably grab efficient shielding, right? Our quest does require us to build some ships. Well, why don't we do both? And we'll just unlock the next tier. Get an extra law slot for us. It looks like it's going to take a little while, but obviously we're going to generate some additional science before we hit the end of this. Okay, Mayal became a pirate colony the moment we left, which is extremely annoying. Boy, that being the case, I'm going to swap these back around. Yeah, that really sucks, because we need to colonize that. Changes our priorities somewhat. Where do I think the end of this star lane is? I'm going to guess here. Man, no other minor civilizations or anything, huh? I do not feel super lucky about our start here. Alright, well, we can grab cerebral reality and public-private partnerships and infinite supermarkets, all of which will have significant impact. No. We no longer need to generate the colony ship super quickly. Okay, here we go. Here's a miner. So we want to praise them before searching their curiosity, because the cost of praising seems to be based on the number of effects you have that are giving you approval with them. Search both of these as well. We have discovered on their behalf their dense atmosphere, which is cool. And also some transvine. And in doing so, some additional approval. Okay, so if we assimilate them, we'll get some extra influence for the number of people we are friendly with, and it looks like I cannot see their splicing bonus. Their base population value is +5 food, though, so it's going to be food-based. And still, no sources of blue cat mushrooms, which is a real shame. We're going to want to get access to the market early. We might be able to make this blue cap thing happen, but we're going to have to force it a little. Alright, yep. The starvation, the same turn as the completion of the colony, just as we had calculated, unfortunately. Yeah, bummer. Kessler syndrome is a real shame. I mean, I guess the good news here is that there wasn't good for a certain for a certain definition of good, is that there wasn't any industry on the system to begin with, so, or any industry on the planet to begin with. So the Kessler syndrome is at least not reducing that. Real bummer, though. This is going to be a slow-growing system. It's going to be a slow-growing empire in general. Alright, where do I think the end of this star lane is? I'm guessing here. Nope, I missed. Alright, we're finally starting to get some science going here. It looks like we had a Zvali-born, which is cool. We are not going to splice right away. We're going to wait until we have a third Zvali population. I'm a little bummed that we are not going to be able to boost at any point here. Oh, good. We met Cravers.
The Hive cares a little for the interests.
Okay, so the other faction in our system is the Cravers. Or the other faction in our arm of the galaxy is the Cravers. Oh, and they're forward settling us aggressively. Well, it looks like we're playing a military Horatio game. These things happen. It does seem like I have to deal with the Cravers a lot, though, doesn't it? And I hope they don't eat the amoebas before we manage to assimilate them. 85 approval to do another... Or 85 influence to do another praise. And I think we do want to. As soon as we have the ability. Alright, what do you got here? Well, searching this is probably just giving them extra luxuries, but it's not like they wouldn't have searched it themselves. We can at least get a little something out of it. Nope, what we discovered was Hodopelagic life, so hey, that's good for them, and 50 dust is okay for us. Also, hey, same deal on the other system, or the other planet in the system. This is a nice system. We need to steal it. With violence, as you might imagine. Alright, what's up? Oh hey, the Rumor of the Academy. Backtrack the paths of heroes by exploring 5 atmospheric curiosities. I would love to. So that triggered on turn 17. That's a little unfortunate. Well, we're working as hard as we can over here. We're going to have efficient shielding. Next turn, we're going to start building warships. Earlier than I would like to have to, but... You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. We gotta play the game that is actually before us, not the game that we wish was before us. Alright, I think I do want to let Infinite Supermarkets finish, because it will push us above the ecstatic barrier. We do produce more food over here. Slightly faster growth. Is this... No, moving off is not going to cause this to take an extra turn. So we'll get interplanetary transport network going as well. That'll be an extra 4... Actually, we should do it this way. Be an extra 4 industry for each citizen on this planet, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us to the point where we can actually build ships at some kind of reasonable rate. Polaris is coming along very slowly. We can talk to the pirates, right?
Speak.
So we could improve our standing with the pirates and make them stronger. I'm not actually sure, like... I'm not actually sure what the benefit of really improving your standing with the pirates is. We've never done it. Which I guess is a good enough reason to try it here.
No such thing as bad business.
Let's see if we can use the pirates to soften up the Cravers a little bit. So we're gonna have to make a couple donations before they're like properly on our side. I'll be honest with you, my initial feeling on this system is that it's probably not worth trying to convince the pirates to be cool, but it would be good to know for sure, right? Well, hey, here's an atmospheric curiosity we can search for the quest. Oh, we completed it. Apparently, Long Night and I each searched 1, and whoever red is searched 3. Well, that's cool. It's a cool reward to get there. And so we have revealed the Academy. It's in the dead center of the I mean, that makes sense. Not really something that I have a lot of interest in. So from that first search, we found a high-energy plasma sphere. Ooh. And some influence. Yeah, this is an alright planet. It has Eden incense and deciduous trees on it. Alright, what are they paying us? 9 dust and 7 science. Yeah, alright, something. I will hang out here and search that other curiosity, I suppose. I'm always a little leery of helping out the other players by searching curiosities on their planets, but the rewards you get from the searches are almost certainly worthwhile. I'm just skittish about helping anybody ever in life. Alright, hey, look at that. With this government type, the selected political party wins, and all others are ignored. So, this is a law that actually does something. And we maybe don't need to be pushing the science quite so hard with our laws, considering that, like, right, we're getting, what, 8 science from that law? 10, I guess. We just had another birth. Are we looking at... Okay, we're looking at Zvali next, so we'll probably do some splicing then. Polaris has, you know, sort of reasonable outputs now, kind of. Probably just want cerebral reality. We are going to need more food here. No, we're working on it. Okay, we got the vision range bonus, which is actually pretty useful. Just pick a direction and run. So Craver Homeworld's got to be somewhere around here. It can't be too much further if they already had a colony on Kara by the time we found it. Alright, do we want to mess with our government? What is our approval level looking like? 67%. So we would gain 8 approval here, pushing us back up to 77, which means that the supermarket would push us to ecstatic. And in fact, cutting the law would jump us up to happy. Would probably put the whole empire up to happy as well. Yeah, alright, let's... Yep, jumped up to loyal. And it was science neutral now. So we have enough science that the plus 15% offset the cost. So what do we want to run in its place? We could run this, but it costs more than the amount of influence we're generating, and it's going to get more expensive because it's going to help us create citizens. That said, we need population real bad, so I think probably this is the way to go. Very badly. Yeah, it took a turn off of this volley. Oh hey, another law slot. So I don't think we want to run another law. The value of this is... Well, we do have a planet that has anomalies on it now. Or at least, yeah, 2 anomalies. So that law would help us grow that planet's population pretty quickly for food per citizen. But it would also make our influence very negative. Definitely go for extra industry. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we want to do.
Is to kill. Sign the deal.
So this is a lot of turns of dust output for us, and I'm actually not... He's so far away from us, I'm not really worried about him coming after us. It's a threat that I don't think he's going to actually back up. Alright, well, there's the Craver home system. Also, we haven't seen any warships. It's another element in me not actually being afraid of him. We might have better military tech than he does at this point, honestly. Alright, so we have some food buildings available to us. We probably... Honestly, we could just go straight to try and have mediums. We know we're going to war. 13 turns? Maybe we should get another science structure first. We do have a planet, or we do have a system where all of the planets are cold, so exoscience stations is potentially interesting. Magnetic field generators is good on the one planet we have in that system. Baryonic shielding is also potentially interesting because we know there are curiosities on our home system that we cannot yet explore. How many turns is that? 3? My concern with PEV scale accelerators is that it's pretty low value because that system is low population and will be low population for a while, so we might not actually get any extra science out of it. I'm going to go straight for Dux class military attack hulls. We certainly have the titanium income to work with these. We're just going to let those cravers know that we mean business right away. Also, how long are we looking at on this? At this rate, so it's going to be +5 for 2 more turns, and then it's going to go down to +3. So in 3 turns, we'll have enough approval with them to try to assimilate them, to at least see what the quest is.
What can I do for you?
420 dust to get these pirates to like us a little bit more. Get out of here. Well, that's annoying. Actually, you know what? Let's stop here and we'll shoot a probe over there so that we can see that system.
Our purpose is to kill.
Yeah, you know, somebody told me that his purpose was to kill. I can't remember who exactly, but I believe I've heard that before. So, yeah, finished supermarkets. Supermarkets will be useful. We'll figure out exactly what we want to do after that. It's probably shipbuilding time, though. We have survived as long as we can. Yep, he's generating attack vessels. Looks like bullet weapons, projectile shielding. Good information. Okay, we had some growth on Polaris. We're still 2 turns out from this volley. I think somebody in my building is making like beef stew or something. Man, actually it smells extremely good. Alright. I'm going to choose to spend my dust on these guys. Ever since they can remember, the amoeba have attached divine significance to a distant blood-red star in their night sky. That doesn't look that distant, really. To some, the star is a symbol of the crucible of fire that will one day consume the universe. To others, it is a symbol of the fire of creation. In either case, it's always about fire. Every year, the amoeba celebrate the star's existence through the Burning Light Festival, which lasts 3 whole days and nights. Now that the age of contact has come upon the amoeba, they would be grateful if you could send a pilgrimage to the star, so that their most learned scholars can pay all their respects. Search a curiosity in the Mayal system when you're ready to pay some dust. That could be difficult, given that the Mayal system is pretty hostile. We'll see what I can do. Alright, so we need to generate ships of at least 100 defensive power. The base design for our weapon does not do that. And unfortunately, we don't actually have any better defensive modules. Are there... Okay, that could be a defense slot. That could be a defense slot. But also, we're not very powerful defensively. Oh, wow. Really? That doesn't even get us to 100. Okay. The game agrees with me that shielding is, in general, better than plating. Of course, in general is not a thing you really ever have to think about. It turns out, almost every case is a specific case. So we could build 5 ships like this. They're not actually going to be very good fighters, but they will get the job done quest-wise, while also giving us some amount of military. You don't really need to be very powerful to fight pirates. I kind of want to keep those pirates alive a little bit. Just because I want to try getting friendly with them and seeing if it makes a difference. Yeah, alright, we'll make them like this. I'm gonna push for some quest completion here. Okay, 8 turns. Alright, well, we're going to see a temporary reduction in effectiveness here. Because we are definitely consuming 2 units of Zvali population. Right? Is that even worth doing? These effects are not very good. Maybe we just... Oh, but we have deciduous trees, which means we could be doubling... Yeah, if our Horatio population get really powerful, then doubling their outputs is super good. Oh, we don't actually have a source of trees yet, but we will soon. One hopes.
What can I do for you?
So man, supporting the pirates really has not given us any benefit at all, huh? How much money do you have to plow into support to actually be on their good side? Yeah. Oh good, it was the Cravers who have built all the things. Lovely. That's great news for us. Well... Boy, none of this stuff is great, huh? This is only 4 extra food. Yeah, as much as this is not awesome because it's only 10 industry, I think 10 industry is the best thing we can build here right now. So yeah, actually I'm pretty torn on this. Like, I guess we're going to generate Horatio more quickly than we're going to generate Zvali. We're going to end up with a lot more of them. Yeah, alright, let's splice. So, our basic population unit is okay. It's fine. I mean, 2 points of unconditional approval is actually really nice. We're going to have happy systems. Eventually. I wonder what you get from splicing Cravers. I think we're probably going to find out. Okay, so mostly we discovered strategics, or extra luxuries. But here we got 25 entire science. Alright, I'm going to have our scout ship head down in this direction. Because I do want to explore this thing on my all. By the time he gets down here, we'll be in a position to make the pirate system safe enough. Wondering if I should take Imnos. Yeah, a medium snow planet with a Garden of Eden is probably worth grabbing. It's not awesome, but we do need more expansion space. Can I make a colony ship that has 100 defensive power? Is that a thing that's possible? Nope. Alright, well, just curious if we could, 2 birds with 1 stone there. You know what, stop here. We can do a little exploration there. So, once we have the amoeba in our empire, it looks like they're at 3 population now. They might get to 4 by the time we assimilate them, and then we can just consume them and, I assume, really improve our growth rate. Probably okay for us to head over here. I'm not sure if blockading their system is going to make them angrier at us. I assume it will. We may have just thrown away some dust on a mechanic that I both don't think is good and can't afford to engage with, but I was trying to learn something. You know, there was a noble idea at the core of it. We're 3 points away from another, or 3 turns away from another point. Yeah, there's some slow early systems. Throw a beautifier on the end of that. We are going to expand to Imnos. I would much rather have expanded early to Mayal. It's also unfortunate that it's a pirate system in that it's not easy to remove the pirates with small ships. Oh good, as we enter Trappist 1, we suddenly get hit by a trap. Well, let's study this incredible effect. We can take a little damage on our scout ship. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Just let whatever weird trap it is hit us. And I think we're gonna wait right here until that scout ship has almost arrived at Mayal.
What can I do?
We're making dust quickly enough that we could support them again, but I'm not super convinced that that's the thing we need to do. Okay, extra influence per destroyed command point isn't. It gives us an interesting ability to generate influence early. I kind of wonder how that influence is allocated. Like, is that influence considered to be generated by the system closest to the battle, or maybe no system at all? I'm just wondering if the influence does increase our ownership circle anywhere. All right, we're making pretty fast progress here on our quest. I was kind of hoping to build the building that you get from this on Mayal, to make Mayal sort of a forward shipyard. That's a shame. We could have gone for it. I'm honestly not sure we would have gotten it, because colonizing planets is pretty slow when your industry is very, very low. Okay. Our fleet is damaged but survives. The secret of the sophisticated magnetics and guidance systems will prove worthwhile in our own industries. Yeah, that's a pretty good bonus. That's very, very useful. Alright, so this is about to be a full-size fleet, or at least as close to full-size as we can get at this point in the game. I would say it's fair to not describe 4 command points as full-size. Alright, so we now have access to imposers. And obviously I intend to make some imposers pretty soon. We do need extra food though. We could be growing a lot faster. You know what? We don't have to think about this now. We can wait a couple turns. So it's going to take 2 turns for me to get here. I guess we'd better merge up and head in. Oh, yes. Also, I should research things. That's fair. Denark University is good, but also expensive. Hard to find time to build. We are weak on science and on industry. Pretty torn, actually. Glorification of the Gorgeous. This is the same, it's the same building that you usually get from here, but it has a different name, and I imagine probably different art. No, actually, it does not have different art. It does have different flavor text. Appreciation of the marvelous is important to Horatio. Well, shoot, I don't know what to do next. I guess we could head up to Focused Plasma to get the A2S slugs as a way of dealing with the pirate base. It's a little annoying to have to engage in a ground battle this early, because we don't really have a lot of good ways of generating population. We could pick up Chain Gang program, or population. What I meant was manpower, because obviously it takes manpower to win that ground battle. I think I'm going to cut my losses on the negotiating with the pirates. We could continue to support them. Apparently they're going to be real jerks about it, though. So yeah, let's prepare to clear this place out. N-Wave fusion might be the way to go. Population is relatively pretty valuable at this point, though. Wondering if it might be better just to go to here, build a support ship with a siege module, and just siege the pirates out so that we can take the system. We do need the system. What else would I research? I would move toward system developments, probably. You know, it's a path worth considering. Maybe this would be a good place to end the episode, actually. So, that's going to be it for us for today. That is not how I bring up the overlay. Hey, there it is. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time. We're going to have a plan, probably. Probably by next time I will have a plan. And we'll see you then.